What's up, Mafia? With the NFL draft being right around the corner, I thought that it would be a good idea to look into the Eagles prospects. So today, we're going to be looking into 10 of the Eagles' top 30 visits before the NFL draft. So, let's start up front, because that's where the team is built. Vega Olane, guard out of Penn State. He's 6'4", 320 pounds. Hasn't given up a sack in 2 years. He's a player who wins his reps over and over again. He's not the type of guy who just catches and holds on to a player. He moves people and blows them off the ball. He has a strong base, good hands, and his technique is clean. And here's the key. He's a guard. So most likely, he won't be drafted in the top 10. But if you're the Eagles, this is the exact type of player that you can trust to step in and hold down the interior of the line for years. Not flashy, but solid on every single snap. Next, we have Max Ionicher, tackle, Arizona State. This one's different. He just started playing football in 2021, and now he's sitting at about 30 plus starts. That's fast development. He has a basketball background, and you can see it right away. Fast feet, good balance, solid movement. He looks comfortable in space, and that's what matters here. Because this offensive line moves, pulling, scraping, and pushing into the second level. You need guys who can handle assignments like that. He's not a finished product yet, but the upside is real. This is one of those picks where it looks like they're looking at a long-term solution at tackle. Next up, we have Markel Bell, tackle out of Miami. And this is the swing tackle that every team would desperately need. He's almost 6'9", around 350 pounds, with almost 37-inch arms. And he's almost perfect in pass protection. He's allowed 0 sacks, 1 QB hit, and only 14 pressures all year long. So the ability is there. But here's the real conversation. At his size, can he keep his body right? Can he stay in shape all the way through an NFL season? Can he handle the workload week after week? Because that's what other teams are digging into. Because if the weight does slip, that's when everything begins to slow down. But if it doesn't, you're talking about a tackle with crazy length. That's why this pick would be a project, but it would be a hell of a project. And then you have Travis Burke. Offensive line, Memphis. And this one, this is your riser. He started at a small school, then he transferred. He showed out at the Shrine Bowl, and now other teams are paying attention. He plays with edge, he's physical, and he finishes blocks. And this is where the Eagles always hit. Day 2 or day 3 linemen who always turn into key contributors for the team. This pick would fit their track record. Now let's move on to the receivers. Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana. And this is the one that really stands out. 69 catches, 937 yards, but the part that people are really noticing is he racked up almost 500 yards after the catch and 27 forced missed tackles. That's not normal. That's a guy who's creating offense. And he's not just another gadget player either. He can line up inside, outside, wherever the team needs him. He has strong hand, he's reliable, and that fits perfectly with what this team needs. Because you're giving your quarterback someone who doesn't just catch the ball. You're giving him a weapon who adds to the play. Next we have Chris Bell, wide receiver, Louisville. And he's built different. 106 targets, 72 catches, 917 yards. So the volume is there. The role is there. He's a big-bodied receiver, listed at over 200 pounds. He's got build-up speed. But the real question comes from an ACL injury that happened towards the end of the season. So teams are looking at how much burst will he actually have? How explosive he will be early on. And then the other piece, 7 drops over the last 2 years. Now that's not terrible, but that's enough when you're asking the question, is he a volume guy? Or a guy you can fully trust in guaranteed moments? He still fits the blueprint of a wide receiver that would fit this team. Now we move on to the only tight end who has received a top 30 visit so far. Nate Brunley, tight end, Texas A&M. So this one doesn't really seem to be about stats. Production wasn't huge, but that's not really his role. He blocks, he can catch, he's the do-it-all type. And this is how they build that position. Because you don't need him right away. You can allow him the opportunity to sit and learn. Learn behind Dallas Goedert and develop. And when he's ready, let him step into that role. So this pick would be a long-term play. Now, let's shift over to the defense. Danny Dennis Sutton, edge, Penn State, 6'6", 256 pounds. 4.6 speed with 17 sacks over the past 2 years. The body is ready. The run defense is ready. He sets the edge, and that's a qualification that's needed here. Because if you can't do that, then you can't play on this team. Now, in regards to the pass rush, that's something that's still developing. He has a lot of power and a lot of force, But at this level, you will need more. More counters, more moves, more planning. That will be the next step for him. But as a base edge that can play early, this move makes a lot of sense. On to Romello Height. Edge, Texas Tech. This is your speed guy. Different role, different tool. He's played at multiple schools. USC, Georgia Tech, Texas Tech. And everywhere he goes, he produces. Sacks, tackles for loss, he gets after the quarterback. He's lighter, so he has more bend and more burst. So now you have some contrast in the edge room. Power and speed. And that's how you build a strong room. And then there's Jalen Kilgore. Defensive back, South Carolina. And this one fits clean. Allowed just under 50% of his completions. 12 pass breakups, 2 picks, and he can line up anywhere. Nickel, safety, in the box, wherever he's needed. And he tackles and he's not afraid to lay the hit. That's the big one. When you miss tackles, you don't get to see the field. It's plain and simple. He's the type of player who's going to earn his snaps fast. But I'm calling it right now. Dennis Sutton makes too much sense. Max is the player with all the upside, and Cooper, that's the player who I believe is going to hit early. And honestly, this isn't a random list. The Eagles are showing you exactly what they're thinking going into this year's NFL draft. Offensive line, tackle depth, receivers who can create after the catch, defensive pieces that fit specific roles. Now we'll see how many of these names actually turn into picks for the Eagles. Because we all know Howie. Things can shift fast, but the blueprint, that part is always clear. So, let me know what you guys think. Which one of these players do you want the Eagles to draft the most? And who are you completely out on? Drop it in the comment section and let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, so that way you don't miss anything. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So once again, I've been Brother Shy, and this has been the Midnight Green Mafia.